Welcome to another episode of Diary of a Wannabe Comedian with me, Belle, a wannabe comedian. Most of the time I just record my podcast and then I think of a title that's broadly in line with what I've been talking about. But I think today it's fairly obvious that I had the title before I recorded the podcast because everybody expected the Spanish Inquisition. I am of course referring to yesterday where Spain lifted 2 trophies, that being the Wimbledon tennis champion and, of course, the European Football Championship, where England teased us yet again. Sadly, it wasn't to be, but well done, Spain. Well deserved. Although I have to say, Novak Djokovic, who was the opponent for the tennis, he had a knee operation 2 weeks before that championship started and 4 weeks prior to actually being in this final yesterday. I mean, that's just, speaking as someone who had a knee replacement last year, that is utter madness. I mean, I've had lots of procedures on my knee prior to giving up totally and having it replaced. So I just cannot get my head around somebody who would be back on a tennis court within 2 weeks at a professional level. Honestly, I thought I was doing so well with my physio. And then I hear stories like that and think, gosh, I'm pathetic. But there you are. Well done to both for different reasons. As for me, I have watched a friend do her work in progress show. She's taking it to Edinburgh. It's called Who Told You to Be Small? And that was really good. And it meant that I found another little obscure venue over at Borough, which I didn't even know was there. So that was fabulous. I did rock up and she said, do you want to perform? And I probably should have said yes. I had Logan's. Logan's words were ringing in my ears where he said, if you ever get asked anything, just say yes. But honestly, I just wasn't sort of ready for it. And I'm kind of glad I didn't. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think I would have performed well on Friday. And I need 24 hours to get my head in the right space. But I guess I need to work on that and be more flexible and more prepared to just perform. But her show was very good. She's an artist as well. And she just sort of did this. Well, it was an autobiographical story of how she accepted herself, really. Accepted her body, accepted herself for who she is and what she looks like. And she did that through art. And it was very interesting. Comedy Dan, of course, broke his comedy dry patch on Thursday, that was. So I saw Beth on Friday and then on Thursday Dan did his bit and he did very well. I think he was pleased with his performance. I hope he was pleased with his performance because it was really good considering he's not done anything for months and months and months. He did some new stuff and it worked because he's really into philosophy. See, I can't even say it, but he's quite into that. So he's trying to write some comedy around that. And I approve. Speaking as somebody who does comedy around the Fibonacci sequence, I approve of using these obscure topics. And then the only other bit of news, creative news, is that I went to see Despicable Me 4 and I loved it. They're just great. All 4 movies are really good. The only criticism I have is they but there was reference to Gru being a boomer. And then there was a lot of references to 80s music and Gru really liking 1980s music. Well, I'm telling you now, that is not a boomer. Boomers finished in around 1965. So if you were born, I think it's 65 to 82, you're Generation X. Or is it, 65, might be 66 to 81. You're Generation X. And that's clearly where Gru was born, if he's into the music that he was into. So I didn't appreciate that because you've probably guessed I'm Gen X. And I'm not a boomer. I'm lucky enough to have a boomer as a parent. Anybody in the UK will know exactly what that means. And I'm probably even more lucky that I don't have a millennial to look after or a millennial living at home, which most of them are, I believe. But anyway, moving on. Yes, I recommend that film. It is good fun. It's thoroughly silly, but it's exactly what you need, isn't it? That's it from me. I'll speak to you on Thursday. Much love and gratitude.